So the Knicks were in OKC last night to face the West-leading Thunder, and after winning 7 straight against no team above 500, New York has now lost 2 in a row to playoff teams. The Knicks did pull within a point in the fourth, but SGA had 10 of his 30 in the fourth quarter, 111-100, the final in favor of the Thunder. So the Thunder attempted 38 free throws, making 31 in the game, while the Knicks only shot 17 and made 13 free throws. That discrepancy likely led to Knicks head coach Mike Brown saying this.
It was a hard-fought ball game. The thing that I was most disappointed in was the amount of energy that we expended on the officials. They shot 38 free throws. Were all of them legit? I don't know. I know some of them were because we reached, and you can't reach versus this team because the team does a fantastic job starting with SGA and getting the officials to think that a foul has occurred. Their gamesmanship is off the charts.
Their gamesmanship is off the charts. In terms of the Thunders, Brian Windhorst joins us here on First Take. And Wendy, you go first here. Does Brown have a point?
Yes, of course. The Thunder are experts at being physical on defense and trying to overwhelm the officials with physicality because you can't call everything. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander especially is a genius at the offensive end in drawing fouls. He's going to average over 30 points for the fourth consecutive year, largely because he's a master at getting to the foul line. But that's not why the Knicks lost this game. I mean, it's a little bit annoying to me to see the procession of coaches who come through Oklahoma City play against the Thunder and then afterwards complain about the officiating. You're going to have to find a way to beat them. Every team in the league plays with the same set of parameters. The Knicks shot more free throws in the fourth quarter of this game than the Thunder did. When you watched this game, Shai, it was a 2-point game with 5-ish minutes to go. Mm-hmm. And the Thunder just out-executed the Knicks down the stretch of the game. Just straight out-executed them. There was some schematic things. The Thunder put Alex Caruso on Karl Towns defensively. This is a tactic they've used against bigs all year, and it neutralized their pick and roll, and the Knicks didn't, transition to take advantage of Towns' size issue in the post. I could go on and on here. There's things that's part of the way the Thunder approach a game that plays to what they can do with the officials. But how many games are they going to have to win? How much is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going to have in the fourth quarter before you realize that you're not going to be able to beat this team by complaining? And by the way, for the most part, Mike Brown didn't. He pretty much made it clear after the game they lost this game because of their issues and because of how excellent Oklahoma City is at things. And Stephen A., I'll just say, at this point, the Knicks are 0-5 against the Pistons and the Thunder. They have routinely struggled against elite teams over the last 2 years. Granted, they did beat those Celtics last year in the playoffs, and if they win a series like that again this year, that'll all be forgotten. But there is no doubt that if you're going to win at the highest level, you're going to have to execute better. You're not going to get bailed out by the officials. And I think that's actually what Mike Brown was essentially saying yesterday.
Well, listen, I appreciated his passion and his fervor and the way that he went after the referees. I like seeing that because I need to see more of that from Mike Brown, as opposed to putting your hands in the pocket and just resigning yourself to the circumstances that exist. Sometimes as a coach, you can manipulate it. The elite coaches do it. We've seen Steve Kerr do it. We've seen Larry Brown and Phil Jackson and Pat Riley and others back in the day do it. Certainly, we could see somebody like a Mike Brown do it who's been around quite a while and does know how to coach the game of basketball. So we can see that. I would tell you that there are other things that have me alarmed. I'm looking at a Karl Anthony Towns. It took him a while to recognize the fact that, you the big man, play like a big man, had 18 rebounds, no doubt, 15 points. But big boys, some of these boys, don't let them put somebody small on you and let them get away with that. You got to handle your business in that regard, because certainly you don't want to give other teams ideas to strategize against you, knowing that they don't necessarily have to put a big on you to thwart your efforts and to make you as ineffective or more ineffective than you are accustomed to being. I am pleased with the fact that Mikal Bridges seems to be getting the stroke, shot 55% from the field, scored 15 points. But him and Anunoby combined for just 1 rebound in 67 minutes. I don't like that. You're going to have to crash the boards a little bit more, no doubt about that. The bench production, it wasn't there. You had 5 guys coming off the bench for you. They give you a collective 13 points or 5 of 22 shooting. That's only 23%. You're going to need depth. Your depth playing accordingly if you're the New York Knicks. So that's another concern. 19 turnovers. But also only 19 assists for the game. You know, you got outscored 15-4 on fast break points. And we know what Shea Butter's going to do, particularly when crunch time arrives. He just took the hell over, and there was no answer for him. This is why I had the Knicks going to the finals. But I didn't have them winning because I predicted that the Knicks would meet the Thunder in the NBA Finals, and they haven't beaten the Thunder in 3 years. I mean, the Thunder have basically owned them. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and I'm saying, listen, you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, rather than complain about them, don't hate, emulate. The fact is they're the reigning defending NBA champions. They're clearly doing something right. Figure it out and find a way to emulate it yourself or to thwart their efforts. New York Knicks have yet to do that, and that's why since the All-Star break, the New York Knicks are 9-0 against teams under 500, and they're 4-7 against teams above 500. That's less than mediocre if you're the New York Knicks against winning teams. Newsflash, once the playoffs arrive, that's who you'll be playing, winning teams.
Okay, so let's go to that really quick. By the way, the Thunder do draw almost 21 personal fouls per game. That is 7th in the NBA. Mike Brown has a point, but we can all agree that is not why the Knicks lost the game yesterday. However, we've brought out now the record the Knicks have against very good teams. 0-5 against the Pistons and Thunder this year, as you said, Wendy. Can you trust the Knicks in the postseason? We're getting closer and closer to that. We're about a month away. Can they be trusted? Stephen A., back to you.
I can't trust them this year because they don't look the same. They're not the same team. Efficiency offensively and defensively, numbers-wise, is there, but I do follow the eye test, and the same grit and grime that we're accustomed to seeing, I haven't seen. I saw a little bit of it last night, so I was happy about that. But the bottom line is it's not something we're accustomed to seeing on a night-in, night-out basis when it comes to this New York Knicks team. And so because of that, along with the ascension of the Boston Celtics, who are going to be a bit better, obviously with Jason Tatum getting his groove back, you know the Detroit Pistons are here, and they've had the New York Knicks number. We can't dismiss the Cleveland Cavaliers led by James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. You got all of that stuff going on, and I don't think there's any question that you can look at the New York Knicks, a damn good team, a playoff team. We get all of that, and we thank them for not being confined to basketball purgatory as they were for so many years before Leon Rose and Worldwide West arrived, and then Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and all of these boys thereafter. But the team that was knocking on the door for a championship over the last 2 years, that lost to a Game 7 against Indiana in the conference semifinals, and then in 6 games in the conference finals last year, we thought they were taking a step up, particularly with Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles, with Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton doing the same in Milwaukee and Indiana respectively before Damian Lillard ended up back in Portland. But in the end, the New York Knicks don't look tougher. They don't look stronger. They look very, very good. But there are teams that have their number who are inching towards greatness. And I don't know how the New York Knicks overcome that late in the season, but we shall see.
Yeah, Shay, they're a little bit confounding because Stephen A. mentioned their numbers. Like, if you look under the hood, it looks like a powerful engine. You know, they're top 5 or 6 in offense and defense. I mean, that is signature for a contender. Win the clutch, and I know they got outplayed in the clutch yesterday badly, but in the clutch they've been great, largely because they have one of the best clutch players in the league in Jalen Brunson, and they have a formula they go to that's very effective. You look at their individual personnel, from their size of their two-way wing players and the ability for them to stretch the floor with Towns and Brunson and Josh Hart, to do-it-all player. And there's a lot. You look at them and you're like, man, and by the way, this is the way the team feels too. This is why when the Bucks called last year about Giannis Antetokounmpo, they were like, we're all right. And this is why Jim Dolan goes on to TV and says, hey, I think this team can get to the finals. You have all of that, but then as Stephen A. describes, when the chips are down, you don't trust them and believe them. So only thing I would say is this. I could spend a long time here talking about what the Knicks don't have. They do have things on their side, and if they get all aligned and all running well in the postseason, which is what happened last year, this team could achieve But you certainly wouldn't walk down to your local sports book and say, here's a bunch of money, this team's going to do it, unless you got great odds. Because if you've watched them for 5 months now, they don't inspire confidence. But I wouldn't count them out. And I know that's not what a New Yorker wants. They want to have confidence in their team, but I can't say that at this point.
It's not encouraging.
But that's the biggest point right there, Shay. You want confidence in the team. You know that the Knicks are not scrubs. You know they could play. When I got on Mikal Bridges the other day, I'm not getting on the scrub. I'm getting on the dude that I know can play. I'm getting on a dude that I know can do more than he was doing. And thank goodness he seems to be getting his groove back a little bit, okay? When Josh Hart and I got into it, I didn't say nothing about Josh Hart. Josh Hart is an energizer bunny. You know how happy I am to have Josh Hart in a New York Knicks uniform? I mean, my God, of course, okay? But you look at Brunson. I'm not blaming Brunson like he walked into the room and told Leon Rose give up 7 picks for Mikal Bridges like Wendy and I were talking about. What I was saying was when you're the face of the franchise, you have an idea of what you can and can't do and what you need in order to get it done. And when you know that that many assets are going to be given up, my point is say something. Do what you can to stop it because that's going to derail your championship aspirations in all likelihood because you likely need more. And that's what it has ended up looking like. Boston doesn't need more. They got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Some supplementary parts, put it around us. We've gotten the 6 and 5 conference finals and 2 NBA finals and won a championship. We good. We going to be all right. You Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, with Mobley and Allen, my God, what could they do? The Detroit Pistons, you got youth on your side, and you've exceeded expectations at this particular moment in time because we expected what we're seeing from them a year or two down the road, not now. So you're ahead of schedule. Those are the things you have working for you. The New York Knicks have been knocking on the door the last 2 years. So because of that, the expectations for them are different. And New Yorkers and Knicks fans and basketball fans everywhere are going to look at it accordingly.
Yeah.